Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pine Leaf. Since the last episode, I checked in to make sure that they were ready to lock Meadowseld. Now it's time to check for our final orders before we depart.
My uncle has commanded that I bring the people of Edoras to Dunharrow.
We are bringing the people to Dunharrow because that's a more defensible location than Edoras. Before we make our way there, we should send word to Harrowdale of the great number of people that soon will be arriving. Some have already made their way to Harrowdale, but more will be arriving soon from all corners of Kingstead. The Lord of Harrowdale is Thane Dunhera, nephew of Ekenbrand, Lord of Helm's Deep in the Westfold. He is a mighty man, accomplished in battle, and most loyal to my uncle and the Mark. But he rode to defend the ford of Isen some weeks ago, and his wife now rules in his stead. Since I have never been friendly with her, Ellen Fremedon is, by most accounts, a kind woman, and is just as her husband, but she and I are as different as the badger is to the noble steed. She will not be pleased to hear that I and the folk of Adoras will soon be sheltering in her hall, but she will be less pleased to hear the news from me. After you have helped the people of the Entwade, travel to Underharrow to the south and give Ellen Fremedon this unpleasant news. There is little other choice, and you seem to be the best available messenger for these tidings, Pineleaf. Wonderful. Simply, simply wonderful. Ah, we have arrived in Underharrow, and apparently so is Horn. Hello there, Horn.
We have arrived. Now we must find Ellen Fremedon.
We must hope that the tapestry that Eowyn portrayed of Ellen Fremedon was an exaggeration. I must confess that her distaste for the woman strikes me as rather strange. By all accounts, Ellen Fremedon has never spoken against the good of Rohan, and has been nothing but loyal to the kingdom and to her husband Dunhera. Indeed, she is a minstrel of no small skill herself. I heard her play the fiddle once at Entwade several years ago, and she made it sing in a way I have never heard before nor since. Still, make no mistake, these are unwelcome tidings that we bring. Even the most reasonable lady will not be pleased to hear the news that many scores of folk are seeking a shelter in her hall. No, I suppose that will not be the most pleasing news that she will be hearing. Now let us find Ellen Fremedon. Well, she's carrying a musical instrument with her. Hello there.
Your tidings are over late, bringer of ill news.
Well, apparently some people have already given her the message. Ever since early this morn, ragged folk have been pouring into Underharrow, bringing hungry mouths and sad tales. I will not close my gates to them, for the word of Theoden King is law, and Dunhera, my husband, would be wroth were I to disobey the Lord of the Mark. I will do my duty, but Eowyn cannot expect me to be pleased about sheltering so many. You perhaps can provide some help to me in return for this hospitality. The blacksmith Ordwald is forging weapons and armor by his home to the south. Go to him and carry the heavy barrels of swords, armor, and spears back to me. hmm Of course, I'm sure she intentionally chose the heaviest job in the world to assign to a hobbit. That is showing the level of her pleasure at the moment. And what else does she have to say?
There is work to be done here.
Yeah, so Erwin believes it enough aid to send you here. How Thoughtful of her, yes. As the warriors and my husband are away, if you wish to be put to work, I have no shortage of it for you, such as collecting those heavy pieces of armor.
If you will help us, then do so. If
Eh,
not, begone.
Okay, okay. I'll bring the stuff first, then I'll talk to you further. I hear a hammer down in this direction, so I presume this is where the smithy is located. Now, let's see. What have we have here? Well, there's our blacksmith, and here is a barrel of swords. Oh my goodness gracious, this is heavy. Yeah, I am sure that she is having me do this just to show her displeasure at Eowyn. Hello, you came from Eowyn? Hey, won't you carry these swords and other things along? Yes, that would be a great thing to do. Yippee, yippee, yippee. One down, two to go. Ah, here's some armor. As if the swords weren't heavy enough. Now let's try carrying some armor around. I guess I'll take the pedestrian bridge this time, since this isn't as high as the previous one. And once again, we do a delivery as Ellen looks at us impatiently, wondering, can I make her do anything else more ridiculous? Oh well. There's the armor. And our third set are spears. Oh, this is something nice and balanced to carry. Oh, good grief. Really? Would have been easier for me to carry this through some other means, I think. Barely fits under the bridge as it is, and that's taking the main wagon bridge. Now, let's get to Ellen, and I hope that's it, that she doesn't have anything else ridiculous to do. Too bad these spears are too long for me. There you go.
I see the question in your eyes.
Yes. Why have you toiled to bring these barrels here? Why does the sweat so sting your eyes? What good has it done to carry these weapons and armor to me, where they will just stay? It has done no good, Pineleaf. By gift of birth, Eowyn commands some little measure of respect, and I give it to her. But she has sent only trouble to Harrowdale. Do you see these swords and spears? Do you see this armor? She has sent to me townsfolk and children, the aged and the infirmed. She has sent no warriors. She has sent no one to wield the bright blade or brandish the sharp spear. These folk will die just as easily here as in Adoras. There's no purpose to this migration. If my husband falls, and those who ride with the king are defeated, there is no safety in all of Rohan. This is the cause of my reproach, Pineleaf. Eowyn plays at war, but as she always has. But there are women in Rohan who truly know what is at stake, and I am one of these.
Enough words. I've spoken plainly and I've nothing more to say.
Yes. Nothing more to say? Are you sure about that?
If you will help us, then do so. If not, begone.
Yes, I noticed that. Is as you can see, Underharrow is playing host to far too many. Worse still, little has been done to ensure our safety since the men rode west. As I see it, To house so many here with no means to defend them is lacking in even the most basic strategy. Eowyn will not hear it, that foolish girl. Being thrust into leadership means not that you are as wise as a leader. Ah, but you wish to listen to my concerns? Very well. We have not much time, but let us talk. All right, let's talk then.
Long at odds with the glory-seeking Eowyn, Ellen Fremedon of Underharrow finds herself overwhelmed by the task of sheltering the helpless of Rohan.
Our mission is dire.
Come, let us talk of other things. Walk with me, Pineleaf. My husband Dunhera has ridden to the Westfold, leaving the Harrowdale in my hands. Lady Eowyn has sent the people of Kingstead here to me for shelter as they wait to travel to Dunharrow. We have waited long enough. The people of Rohan suffer, but what am I to do? Underharrow is far too small to shelter them all, but I cannot turn them away. I have tried to bring joy through my music, but the strings have not sung to my people as they once did. I wonder what delays Eowyn. The girl is likely to be off meddling in problems she has no business. And for what? Glory? She would do well to learn her people are in greater importance than her foolish charges. With the men gone to war, Underharrow stands defenseless. Mhm. I worry for my people, and I know I alone cannot keep them safe. Come, I wish to look upon the snowborn. All right. And I presume that was the river that I crossed as I was heading to the blacksmith. So apparently she's not planning on crossing it. So it would not be a good place to cross. Alas, if only my troubles could flow away in such currents, but our journey will only take us further upstream. Oh, I guess Dunharrow is upstream. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Dunbeck, what are you doing wielding such a thing? Mother, have we not talked about this? Now is the time to aid our people, not to run wildly through Harrowdale with a dagger. But, Mama, the dead men! Nonsense! Now return to our hall and help the people settle in. I will soon be there, my dear, and put those things away. Lady Eowyn would believe me. The dead men are in the valley. Oh, Dunberg.
Will you aid the horse lords?
I'm sorry, Pineleaf. No matter how I try to sway her, my daughter idolizes Lady Eowyn. While I admire her passion, she is still too young of age to follow such a charge. Come, let's return to the mead hall. There we can talk more of what is to be done. Anything else to be said?
If you will help us, then do so. If not, begone.
Well, now you know all you need to know about us. We have little more time to idly speak. The burdens of Vaderus have fallen on Underharrow, and if you would aid us, I would be grateful. And if not, be gone. Let's see. How about. I think this would be nice.
If you will help us, then do so. If not, begone.
Before you arrived, I had a feast prepared for the refugees from Madaras, as well as my own people. With so many taking shelter here, it is hardly a full meal for any of them, but it is all we can spare. If you would, gather the food in the mead hall and set the tables for the refugees. I prefer some amount of decorum, even if my hall is destined to be slathered in filth and overrun with more people than it has ever housed. Let them feast, Pineleaf. They need the hope, and I need the silence out here. Yes. Let's get the food and set the tables. There we have some of that and some bread and other things like that and some more of it. There you go. Now let's set the tables. Now, if there's a huge horde here, are they going to be eating in ships or something? Most likely, or that or they'll need a few extra chairs. We only have 4 to a table. I think they're going to be needing at least 6 to a table if they're going to have any hope of this. So I suppose that by the time this is all done, there will be a lot more than that here because Adoras is a pretty big place, and I suspect that there are going to be a lot more than 32 refugees coming along around here. And there you go. The tables are set.
If you will help us, then do so. If not, begone.
We simply cannot house this many people, even if I am willing to care for them all. The mead hall will do as a shelter for now, but I shall only be relieved once everyone has gone to Dunharrow. Imagine the mess that will be left in there. I doubt anyone plans to aid us with that. I have a feeling I know who's going to be assigned to that task.
There is work to be done here.
With so much ado in Underharrow, my daughter has once again slipped out of my sight. When will Dunberg learn? A brazenly seek glory at her age is at best foolhardy, and at worst, I wish not to think of such things. I pray she turns to the mastery of music rather than to that of the blade. Each time so far, I have had to drag her out to the trees in the south and sit her down within my view. She prattles on endlessly about the dead, but I tire of such stories, especially since they might drive her into harm's way. If you would, search to the south of town, and please send her home. Very well. I'll send her. What else?
If you will help us, then do so. If not, begone.
I know not if you have heard of such things since you arrived here, Pineleaf, but my people have expressed an uneasiness about venturing out of town. Both young and old have told me fanciful tales of spirits lurking under the cover of the trees, but I can't believe them. You mean such as your daughter? Yeah, knowing the past as I do, the dead men never venture beyond their darkened paths. You're saying then that the dead do venture within their paths? Paths of the... Oh, good grief. I would ask that you investigate the trees outside of Underharrow, for it is there that people have heard such things. I am curious to know what you find, but I expect no more talk about the dead, all right? Very well, I will search trees to see if I can find any news and why there is all this talk about the dead. Ah, here's a likely looking tree. Let's see, how's this one? Nothing there. All right. Well, no sign of the dead at least. Well, anything other tree? None of these trees look suspicious in any way. All right. Maybe there is nothing to go on here. Then what has the people talking? What? A warg? Well, maybe a howling warg is making people think of the dead. That could be the answer. If I found a warg here, I'm sure that would concern Ellen. That will concern her quite a bit. Now, what do we have here? Oh, an orc! Well, that's a rather strange way for an orc to dress. Very definitely a strange way for an orc to dress. Well, I know Ellen doesn't think too much about there being dead in the area, but if there are orcs here, I know that will concern her. Now, it's hard to see this tree, the undersides of it, considering all of the... Another one of these leapt out. This place is full of them. It's like dressed up as a white or so. Wait. Orcs dressing up like the dead? What is going on with these orcs that dress like the dead? We have to find that out in the next episode of Complete Pineleaf.